Hi. Have you ever been puzzled about what the Psalms you should use, what readings or canticles for morning or evening prayer? What readings you should use for the Eucharist on Sunday? What about if you want to do a Eucharist on weekdays? Have you ever wondered about what's going to happen when Christmas Day occurs like this year on a Saturday? What's the day after that? Is it Stephen's Day or the first Sunday after Christmas? And if it's the first Sunday after Christmas, what happens to St. Stephen's Day? Hi, I'm Father Jonathan Brett from Our Lady of Walsingham, Cavinti, Laguna, and I'm here to show you a simple and free way you can get all that information and in fact much more. Now, of course, most of the answers to those questions can be found here in the Book of Common Prayer. You can go to the back, you can find the lectionary for the Office for the Saints, or you can find the lectionary for the Office for every day, find the readings for Eucharist somewhere here. Yes, here they are. Readings for the Eucharist. For the Office, it gives you the Psalms and the readings, but not the canticles. For the canticles, you have to go right to the front of the book to find a table of canticles. And if you're worried about which is what and who's where, the instructions are right at the very front of the book, which you can read. But even the Book of Common Prayer doesn't contain everything. It doesn't tell you about what colour vestments you should wear. It doesn't tell you what to do about weekday Eucharists. It also doesn't tell you about the RCL, the Revised Common Lectionary. About 2 years ago, the RCL was authorised for trial use in the ECP. So you can use the RCL or the BCP. If you're not familiar with the RCL, it's a ecumenical lectionary. It's used exclusively by Church of England and by the Episcopal Church in the States and by many other Anglican provinces. It's also used by the Lutherans, the Methodists and so on. And it's very similar to our BCP, but slightly different. So you have all this complication. Well, of course, you can use the Ordo. But in the past, the Ordo has sometimes contained mistakes. And it's another book you've got to carry around, and it can cost you quite a bit of money. What you need is something that is nearby and very easy to use. And what's that going to be? It's going to be this, the Liturgical Almanac. The Liturgical Almanac is something that you can put into your phone. So, since your mobile is always with you, it will always be with you as well, wherever you go. And it's absolutely free of charge, and as far as humanly possible, free from error as well. Are you interested? Well, sit back and I'll show you exactly what it is, and I'll show you how to use it and how to get it. So first of all, let's have a look and see how it works. Well, first of all, we have to find calendar and open that on our phone. We open Google Calendar. Let's move into December. See, for each day, you've got a header like Nicholas Ferrer Deacon and Wednesday of the first week of Advent. So if you press or click on Wednesday of the first week of Advent, it tells you that the colour for that day is violet. It gives you readings for the Eucharist, readings and Psalms and Canticles for morning prayer, and readings, Psalms and Canticles for evening prayer. Click on the other one for that day, Wednesday, 1st of December, Nicholas Ferrer Deacon. It tells you Lesser Feast and Fast 2018, says the colour for the commemoration is white. And it gives you the readings if you wish to take the readings from the Eucharist or the readings from the Common of Saints. As I said earlier, the readings for weekday Eucharists have been taken from holy women and holy men. If we move a little bit further ahead and look in October next year, and in particular October the 9th, which is a Sunday of Proper 23, now here you'll see that for the Eucharist, it gives you two sets of readings. The 2 Kings 5, 1-3, 7-15c, which is the RCL reading, but if you're following the Book of Common Prayer lectionary, you have a reading from Ruth. And again for the Psalm and for the second reading, the RCL and the Book of Common Prayer are different. So where the RCL differs from the Book of Common Prayer, both sets of readings are given so that you can choose which one you want. It's easy. Find anything that you want, click, open, and you're there. Remind you that of weekdays you use the Kyrie or the Trisagion rather than the Gloria, but if you move to a Sunday, it tells you it's the Gloria or the Te Deum. And for each day, it gives you the correct liturgical colour. That's the Liturgical Almanac. Well, there you saw it. If you're wondering where the readings for the weekday Eucharist come from, both the Church of England and the Episcopal Church in the US have weekday lectionaries for the Eucharist, and the ones that are in the Liturgical Almanac are the ones from the USA. You can get a bigger view if you look at the Liturgical Almanac on your PC, as you can see now. So here's Google Calendar, open on a PC, showing the calendar for the month of December. And each of these is an entry from the Liturgical Almanac. Clicking on any one of them brings up the readings. So for example, if we click on the third Sunday of Advent, up comes the readings. Reminds us the first and second Advent candles are lit, colour is violet. For the Eucharist, it gives the readings, morning prayer, and for evening prayer, readings and psalms and canticles. If we just look around the Christmas time, what I was talking about a few minutes ago, Christmas Day, of course, is this time a Saturday. So the day after is the first Sunday after Christmas. Then the Monday is St. John, Tuesday the 28th is Holy Innocents, and St. Stephen gets pushed to the first open day, which is the 29th, Wednesday the 29th. So this year, St. Stephen's Day will be on Wednesday the 29th. So how to get all this information into your phone? It's very easy. It's best if you can use a PC, simply because a bigger screen is easier to work with, but you can do it on a tablet or even on a phone if you don't have a PC. So how to get the Ics file and download it? Well, let's start with our browser. We're going to go to a particular URL, this one that's on the screen now. Don't worry about it. I'll have a copy of it in the words underneath the video. Basically, we're going to take that URL and enter it into the box and press enter. That's where it takes us to. Page on Google Drive. Now, in order to see more clearly what we're going to do, I just need to zoom in. You will see there are 4 files. The top one is an Ics file, and then there are 3 PDF files. It's the Ics file that we're mostly concerned with. But just to tell you about the PDF, the first one gives you detailed instructions on how to read the Ics file into Google Calendar, which is what this video is all about. The second one tells you how to do it with Apple Calendar, if you're an iPhone user, and the third one tells you how the Liturgical Almanac was constructed. As I say, we're interested in this first one, the Ics file, which contains the information that we need. And we're going to download it. And the way we do that is right-click on it, and that brings up a menu. Now you can't see the whole menu, so I'll just need to zoom out again. Down here at the bottom it says download. We just click on that. It'll ask us what we want to do. Because I'm using Firefox, I want to save the file. We'll save the file. Now, in order to see that we have saved the file, let's open up Finder and Zoom in on that, and you will see here's our file. If we go to our default download position, it's here. We've just downloaded it. So we have indeed downloaded the file. Now you've downloaded your ICS file to your computer, you've got to get it into Google Calendar, and this is just a bit more complicated. Google Calendar lets you create individual calendars. So you can have a work calendar, a personal calendar, so on and so forth. And I strongly recommend that you create an individual calendar for the Liturgical Almanac. This means that if you decide you don't like it, it's very easy just to delete it. If you read the ICS file into your personal calendar, then all the information is all mixed in together, and you will have a great deal of difficulty trying to get rid of it if that's what you want to do. Now we'll look at how we're going to create a new calendar and read the ICS file into it. So first of all, we're going to create a new calendar in Google Calendar, and then we're going to read our ICS file into it. We start with our browser open, and we're going to a particular URL, one that's on the screen now. Don't worry about copying it. It'll be down in the writing below this video. We enter that URL into our top search bar, and we press enter. And that takes us to this page here. In order to see things clearly, I just want to zoom in. So as I said, our first stage, create a new calendar. Go to Add Calendar and click on that. Where it says Create New Calendar, you click on that, and it asks you for a name. Now you can use any name that you like, but I suggest you use a name that's a bit meaningful to you. So we might call it LitAlm 22. Now all you have to do is to click on here where it says Create Calendar. It says the calendar creation is in progress and it's been successfully created. The next stage is to read in the ICS file. For that we go down here where it says Import and Export. Click on that. Import is already highlighted and it's here, Import, and it asks us to select the file from our computer. Just click on that box and it opens up the Finder, and there's our file that we downloaded earlier. Click on it, open, and the file is there. Now the next bit is where you need to be careful. At the moment in the next box it says Add the calendar Jonathan Britt, which is my personal calendar. I don't want it added to that. I want it to be added to the new calendar that I just created. So I click on this arrow here, and there's my new calendar, LitAlm 22. Click on that, and then I click on Import. You just wait a little bit. Now it says it's done it. I'll just zoom out so you can see the entire notice here. Imported 502 out of 502 events. Okay. Just to see that we have done it, let me just go up to here. Click on this button here, and that takes us to our calendar. Here are our entries for December. Christmas, January, and so on and so forth. All our entries are now in for the whole year. There is our calendar. It's as easy as that. Provided you have your Google account synchronized across your PC, your tablet, and your phone, you'll have the Liturgical Almanac with you all the time. But what if you're an Apple user, iPhone user? If you go back to where we downloaded the ICS file, one of the PDFs there contains the detailed instructions for loading it into Apple Calendar. It's a very similar process to the Google one and not difficult to do. Now you might just be interested in what's under the hood, how this was made. The rules what we did was we took the rules and regulations and carefully converted them into an algorithm and then thoroughly tested that algorithm. Just to give you an example, here is the algorithm. Speeded it up somewhat, but you can see as it goes past that it is really quite complicated. And perhaps that will give you an idea of just how complicated it is to understand what it is we're supposed to do every day and which bits we're supposed to read. Mind you, I guess you probably didn't want to know exactly what the algorithm looked like, but there you are. So there's the Liturgical Almanac. Try it out. It won't cost you a centavo, and I hope that you will find it useful.